want to be really, holistic about it, or if you want to be really particular about it, you will notice that every shell, if you tap a shell, okay, will have its own, will have its own tone, will have what we call the fundamental pitch of the shell, okay. If you notice in this case, and this happens a lot, if you listen carefully, this note is actually higher than this note. See? Okay, that happens mainly because unfortunately here we don't have the luxury of actually going to a drum warehouse and picking the shells that we want. Okay, there are huge drum stores abroad in the US, in the UK, where you actually have, in any range, if you take the horizon range, they'll have all the toms placed, they'll have all the snares placed, yeah? So you can actually do what is known as timbre matching. You can, get actually a high tom which has a fundamental note higher than the next tom, because that should be lower, yeah? You can actually do that. Here that doesn't happen because the kits just get transported, they get exported and rather imported here. And, what you have in the store is what you need to buy. So you don't have that luxury. But as I said, just something that you should know about. And if ever you have the luxury of actually going to a warehouse and picking up your own drum kit from scratch, then that's the way to do it. Yep. Now maintenance. This is something that I find quite funny, and I don't know if you have experienced it. But very often when you see in a band setting, a rock band or a gig band or whatever, you'll find the guitar player coming and he's going to sleep, poor chap. That's okay, he'll wake up when I start playing. It's okay. So you'll have the guitar player coming with his guitar in a nice hard case and with his pedal and whatever, all well packed and everything. And he'll come, he'll remove his guitar, he'll start tuning it. You wipe it a couple of times and tune it again and everything. Same thing with the bass guitar player, and then you have the keyboard player who's very particular because it's essentially an electronic digital instrument. It's delicate, can't have any jerks and stuff, so he's really careful. And then finally you have the drummer who will come by in probably an auto rickshaw or something, or or in a Maruti van with all the drums without cases, friends carrying each drum. I'm sure you've seen that kind of a scene. And that's because the general train of thought is that drums are tough, nothing happens to them. Yeah, but that's not the case. A lot can happen to a drum kit. Shells can crack, hoops can go out of shape, and once a hoop goes out of shape, you cannot tune that drum unless you replace the hoop. Yeah, it has to be a perfect circle, it has to fit the bearing edges properly. The bearing edges can get worn out, so that's something that you have to take care of. Bearing edges are the angle of the shell on which the head actually sits. It's a 45-degree angle usually. So once in a while you need to sand that to make sure that the bearing edge stays sharp. Drums are especially very sensitive to heat. If you leave them in a car overnight and if it's hot in the day and then it gets cold at night, they are going to warp 100%. Yeah. So these are things to take care. I know it's quite an expense when you buy a drum kit, but you have to go that extra mile and buy the cases as well. Yeah, decent cases to go with it. So that's the other thing. Transport, as I said, avoid as far as possible jerks. Transport them properly so that they kind of reach the venue in good shape. All right, so we've covered most of the boring topics. So we're going to get down to some actual playing now. How many of you have heard of rudiments? And how many of you play rudiments? Yeah? Great. What rudiments do you all play? What have you all covered? Sorry?
Trinity.
Trinity, but what are the rudiments you are playing?
Grade 4, but
You're all grade 4, I think. Most of you are grade 4.
I'm grade 4.
Okay, you guys are also grade 4. Okay. You've heard of rudiments, I'm sure, yeah. So we have what is known as rudiments, which are the basics, or which are the literally, I mean, just as a metaphor, the alphabets of drumming. Okay, with that you create stuff. So, as of now, the PAS, which is the Percussive Art Society, worldwide, has 40 essential rudiments, 40 main rudiments that have been registered. Other than that, it's constantly evolving. You have a lot of hybrid rudiments, you have a lot of compound rudiments, and those just, keep growing all the time. Drummers keep kind of contributing. Famous drummers, drum corps, they keep contributing new hybrid rudiments, which are essentially either a combination of rudiments, or they're inverted rudiments, or they're modified rudiments. So that keeps growing, but essentially we have 40 rudiments. And these are broadly grouped into 4 or 5 groups. How many have we got here? Okay, so let's talk about 5 groups, 5 main groups. Okay, you have the roll rudiments, roll as in R-O-L-L, roll rudiments. You have the diddle rudiments, D-I-D-D-L-E. Have you all heard of this? Yeah, the diddle rudiments. You have the flam rudiments, yeah, and you have the drag rudiments. Yeah. So these are the 4, and I'll come to the 5th one later. That's again it's essentially an evolution of these. So I'm just going to play one of each of these rudiments, and then we'll see what we can do with them. Okay? So I'll put this off.
Actually, I think everyone. Okay, you guys can't hear me, right? Can you hear me? No. Okay. Can you hear me with the speaker? Yeah? Okay, so our basic roll rudiment would be a single stroke roll, which is nothing more than playing one stroke with each hand. So you have a right, okay, and you have a left. Right? So a right, a left. Just this, I'm going to turn this off. Yeah. Just this, okay? That's your single stroke roll. You have the double stroke roll, which is basically 2 with each hand. So, right, right, right. 1, 2 rights and 2 lefts. So,